What up, guys? Cam from Broski Nation. This is the second episode. I know the first one and this one are kind of spaced, kind of far out. Um, my bad. A lot of things been going on. Been kind of busy with work and life. Whatever. Blah 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 blah. You don't need to know all that. Just know I'm out here hustling, getting this cheddar, this paper, this bread. Um, so for this episode, everything is off the cuff. But I did think about the title of this one, and it's focusing on um, being mixed, growing up mixed. And, we're not a monolith. A lot of us had similar experiences. Some of us have very different experiences. So I'm going to give you my experience while also respecting y'all's time and not going on a tangent because I can tend to do that from time to time. So be mindful of that. Case in point, I fucking love being mixed. Um, I love essentially being a bridge between two different worlds, two different cultures, right? Because, even though we're in America, white people have their own way of doing things and black people have their own way of doing things. And, for me, I attribute a lot of my love for music, for cars. Make sure, fingers are in the shot. From my dad. My dad and I, we don't have a horrible relationship. I still visit him once a week and my mom, what I'm saying? But us, we're both kind of hard-headed too. And I realize that about myself. But one of the things my dad and I have always bonded over was music and cars and similar movies. You know, and my mom and I, on the white side, she was always kind of more up to date she was more contemporary with her stuff. My dad's a boomer. My mom's a Gen Xer. So, I gravitate with my dad towards older stuff, which is probably why I get along with older people a lot more. I connect with them more because I connected with my dad and other people like him. With my mom, I get a lot of my sense of like newness and wanting to try new things because of her, but also my sense of taking care of myself. My dad didn't really do that, which is why he's kind of suffering a lot of the health problems that he's dealing with now. Whereas my mom made sure growing up I was always on top of my, shots, make sure I was going to the dentist, this, that, and the third. And that sense of adventure, that sense of me, hey Cam, go out and have fun. My dad was a helicopter parent. My mom wasn't. My mom was like, I trust you. So as long as you don't ruin that trust, go outside, have fun, just be back before the sun sets, type of thing. But I did get my ass beat. When I mean beat, I mean with the paddle, with the belt, with the hand. And that lasted probably up until I was about 10 or 11. And then they just started grounding me, taking away my allowance, which was a lot more effective, right? I'm going to tell you right now, being raised by a black father, my dad wasn't the stereotypical black man, hard. He tried to be like that, but I think he wanted to distance himself from the way that his father raised him. My grandfather was born in the mid 1920s. So he went through the depression. He was the oldest out of all his siblings, and he was really hard on my dad. And my dad never really felt like my grandfather really supported him. My dad would do what he thought was right, and my grandfather was always criticizing him for him. And he was so quick to like lash out on my dad. Was my dad perfect? No. But I think my dad, when he would ground me or he would have to spank me, my dad would always tell me after he calmed down because I was misbehaving and being disrespectful. He's like, Cam, I hate doing this. He's like, I do this because if I don't correct you now, I don't know what's going to happen to you later on. I don't want you wind up in jail or in prison. He's like, I love you, son. Stop doing this, And where he would tell me, he would ground me, you're grounded for 2 weeks. A couple days into it, he'd come up to my room. He's like, hey, you learned your lesson? I'm like, yeah, all right, you're good. You're still grounded from the game, but you're good. Yeah, all right, don't do it again. And then eventually he reestablished my gaming privileges a couple days later. My dad was a lot of bark, a little bit of bite. But I always knew my father loved me, and my mom always knew that she loved me too. And growing up mixed, I was never confused about who the hell I was. Um, I knew that I had a black dad and a white mom, but they never really talked about their skin color or their place in it. They just kind of like knew that, you know. And then eventually, years later, when I was an adult, they kind of shared some of the struggles, but they never really brought up color around me. I didn't start feeling some of the awkwardness of being mixed was when I would, jokingly, a rap song come on. Mind you, this is in the 2000s in middle school. Rap song come on, blah blah blah, and some of the white kids are always quick to tell me, Cam, you're not black. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? That I'm not black? What are you talking about? I'm like, or I would make a joke saying, oh, it's because I'm half black. They're like, you're not really black though. It's always the white kids. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm just keeping it 100 with y'all. Um, you know, the black women would always know, Cam, I know you're mixed. What the hell are you? And I never took offense to it. I'm like, dude, yeah, I'm this, that, and the third. Like, I knew it, blah, blah, blah. Black men, they would kind of be like, okay, I know you're light skinned, but I know you're mixed with something, dude. What's going on? Again, I never took offense to it. Like, I always loved sharing my culture, what I was about. I never took offense to it. I've even had some of my dad's white friends would call me like, give me names, like they would call me, what up, burnt cracker? I'm like, what's going on, cracker? And I didn't take that, just like we did that because there was established, like we knew each other. We got along well. I was 16, he was in his late 20s. He called me a burnt cracker, coffee creamer. I've been called an Oreo, and I dish it right back. And I've heard on here you would have some, mixed people taking offense to that. Now, if it's some random dude down the street you don't know, they don't know you, it is kind of like weird. Like, okay, am I gonna go out my way to fight you? Nah, because I got more important things to worry about. You know what I mean? But one of the things for me is if you joke and I take it, you better damn well be able to take it back. Because if you can't, I ain't fucking with you, dude. That's just how I roll. Like I love to joke around. I can joke with the best of them, but as soon as you start, getting offended, I'm like, what are we doing then, dude? So, you know, but it's funny. Like I love my culture. Now there was a few times where I had some stuff come up. I remember I was talking to a girl years ago. I was, I don't know, late teens, early 20s. White girl, and we were getting along great. The minute I told her that I had a black dad, everything, she's like, oh, well, my dad doesn't like that. I'm like, wait, what? We were cool literally for about a week, and then I tell you that I'm okay. That's weird. I'm like, you could never know. You know what I'm saying? uh then that was the first time I've ever experienced that. They're fine and dandy with me being mixed, or with me, talk with them until I told them that. And and I'm not gonna hide that. That's part of who I am. Being mixed doesn't define me, but I'm very proud of that. I don't think I'm better than anybody because, again, I didn't choose to be mixed. My dad happened to put a lot of cream, a lot of cream in the batter, so to speak. So it is what it is. I don't regret being mixed. I did have a relative tell me that they couldn't see themselves wanting to raise mixed children because they felt that they would be confused. This is on my black side. I've also had, on my white side, I've had a relative, say that, oh yeah, they said that their kids could have black friends, but they better not be trying to bring them home. And I was probably preteen when I heard this. I always, it's just that whole colorism thing is so bullshit, dude. Um, we it's just us as people always trying to find things to separate ourselves from the crowd, and it's like we try to find ways of feeling superior over other people, or ways to find inferior. I think that shit is bullshit, honestly. And I say that being the essentially the bridge between two different worlds. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that racism doesn't exist because I've experienced it firsthand. But I think it's just bullshit. Us as people, we're so quick to want to go to war with each other over like silly shit, whether it's religion, politics, the color of your skin, you know, whether you're gay or straight, who the fuck cares, dude? And I think deep down you just got people, they feel some type of way when they see other people who are coming together. Like genuinely coming together over some meaningful stuff. And I'll always be an advocate, for like I don't know, like I'll always be an advocate for just like unity. Not over bullshit, not over wars, but just like, and not just in the struggle, because now that opens up a whole set of, well, worms. But that's just my 2 cents. Just I'm proud of who I am. I love both my folks. We're not perfect. Um, I love my black people and I love my white people. We both sides have got their issues. We're not, part of the human existence, right? Part of the, being human, right? So, all right, y'all. To the next episode. Peace.